Talking New Year's resolutions today, then, have you set yourself one? Is it something you do? I mean, a lot of people don't. And then really, why would you put pressure on yourself to make big change? But I know there are certain things like lifestyle. You think it's going to make me feel a little bit better. If you have set yourself a challenge or a resolution, let's get a little bit of advice. Taz Thornton is a motivational speaker from Lincolnshire and joins us now. Hello, Taz.
Hello, Carla. Thanks for having me on the show.
Oh, thank you for coming on, and Happy New Year as well to you.
And to you, and to you.
I've got to start by asking you, Taz, have you set a New Year's resolution?
I absolutely have not. No.
And tell me why.
I think the thing we need to remember about New Year's resolutions, if we go way back to the days before social media, it was kind of a nice idea, wasn't it? We've got this kind of landmark date in essentially what is a made-up calendar from generations and generations ago, and we all go into this, it's a new start, let's do something new. But now social media is everywhere. It's really become a massive marketing tool. So what we find is that all of the personal development people, and I'm one of them, I'm a coach as well, we all pile into this new year, new you, and that just creates such a massive pressure for everyone. And I think my take on this is that creating positive change when it's something that we want to do, that we feel driven to do for the right reason, is brilliant. But it doesn't have to be January the 1st. And when we all fall into this kind of mindset trap of thinking it has to be on this specific date, rather than us creating a change that is natural and that is more like an intention. For me, an intention is a goal with soul. When we fall into this trap of thinking we've got to do something on this one date, we start thinking, what could I do? What could I change? Oh, I could go on a diet. Oh, I could get fitter. I could cut out sugar. I could go vegan for January, or I could do dry January, all of these things. And they're things that we think we should do because we're grasping for something to change, rather than a genuine process of recognizing there's something in our life that is not filling us up. There's something we want to strive for, so let's do it. So it creates a faux starting point and a faux goal, rather than us creating change because it's something that comes from the soul up, rather than it's something that's coming right from our DNA, something we know we want to improve. We kind of feel boxed into creating change for the sake of change, and that's why it fails.
Yeah, and I think there's a pressure, isn't there, for people to, absolutely do it. And if after 2 weeks, 2 weeks into January, you're already feeling like you've not managed, it can be, I suppose, demoralising then for people who were hoping they'd be able to stick to it. Now, Taz, my New Year's resolution, this is the same every year, is to be more organised. And I do joke and I laugh quite a lot about the fact that I'm not organised at all. But, it's having a life where you're not organised and a bit chaotic and a bit frantic. It does lead to quite a lot of problems that I probably could avoid if I was a bit more organised. But there's more to it than that, because obviously you just the general organisation, but then it's about just having time to clear your mind and think what needs to be done. I've got a 5-year-old who is quite a distraction, and so it's about dealing with that better. There's lots of things that come with it, aren't there?
Yeah, absolutely. And I suppose the other pitfall with the New Year's resolution is that because so many of us know that the majority of people break them, it gives us a get out. So if you're doing that for a New Year's resolution, Carla, you know that a couple of weeks in, it's a new year, everybody breaks, and that's okay. But I think the other point with organisation, this is something else that's coming out. I'm going off a slight tangent here. But more and more people these days are struggling with organisation, or some people will describe it as time management. That's why now you've only got to pop into any bookshop or onto Amazon and you're flooded with planners. You type into planner into a shopping search and a gazillion will pop up. And there's lots of reasons for this too. Number one, people have very busy lives. You've just been talking about yours. Number two, people feel mentally overwhelmed, again, because of everything being thrown at them, and social media is a big part. I'm a big fan of social media. It sounds like I'm dissing it, but it just means we're getting overcrowded with the stuff being thrown at us. And also there's more awareness now. The amount of people who are now self-diagnosing with things like ADHD is huge. And so, of course, we're all falling into this trap of believing we're not organised. But in order to get more organised, we need to learn to prioritise. We need to be able to look at our lives and go, okay, what's really important? All of these things on my to-do list today, which are the ones that actually need to get done, which are the ones I can get done. Let's stop creating a massive to-do list and instead create a daily get-done list with no more than 3 things on it. Everything else, if I've got the 3, fine. Other things that are slightly less priority can come up. But organisation is a massive issue for lots of people, largely because we've all been conned into believing that we can multitask and we can do everything all in one day, and we can't.
Yeah.
We can't multitask. It's impossible to have 100% of your attention on any more than one thing at once. So instead of trying to be Superwoman and Superman and super everything, we need to slow down, breathe, look at what's actually achievable, what's going to create good work-life balance, not just for us, but for the people around us, and focus on a few very important things each day instead of that endless to-do list that makes us feel crushed. And we need to stop falling into the trap of thinking that if I promise myself on January the 1st that I'll get better this year, never going to happen, because making a resolution gives you a get out at the same time.
And for those, Taz, who have set themselves a resolution, and it might be a lifestyle change, it might be because of health, whatever reason, I mean, what advice would you give to them?
Make sure that it's something that you actually want to achieve. And if it's something that you genuinely know is going to make a positive difference in your life and you're committed to making it happen, pull yourself back. If you get to that point, maybe a couple of weeks in or even into February and think, it was just a resolution, remind yourself of why you made it in the first place. And in fact, instead of, or as well as writing down the resolutions, write down the reasons. And I find that handwriting things is better. It hits a different part of the brain when we're doing things by handwriting. But if you're a digital person, fine, make a note in your phone. But it's a bit like the difference between creating a vision board and an action board. A vision board can be full of nice pictures and makes us smile and reminds us of things that we want. An action board gives us the steps that we need to take to achieve them. So do that with your resolutions. Don't just write down what it is you want to achieve. Write down why. Why am I doing this? What is the belief, the desire, the want, and the need that underpins this? And what are the steps I'm going to take to actually make it happen? And give yourself little dates as well. By when? When am I going to do this stage? When am I going to take that stage? What's the next step? Write it all down instead of just the headline. Really connect into it. And then you've got a much better chance of making it work. And you know what? If you fall off the wagon, just get back on again. It's okay.
You don't have to wait until January the 1st next year. you can do it anytime.
No, don't do that.
Taz, you're a star as ever. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
I think I'd probably need to make some personal calls to you, Taz, off air. to talk,
you know where I am.
To talk through my organisational skills and much more than that. Happy New Year to you. Thank you so much for coming on. Taz Thornton, motivational coach, with some tips there. If you have set yourself a resolution, just think why you want to do that and set yourself little targets, little goals, and breathe. I think that's the thing, isn't it? Breathe. But the organisation, and it is, people laugh and I come in and I say this has happened, that's happened. But, being chaotic and not being organised, it does lead to problems that don't need to be there, and to emotional responses as well, like crying when I get home because I've not done this and that and forgot that. So just breathe. We'll take a step back and we'll all breathe together. I like that. Thank you, Taz.